Okay, students, now we will also see how to create the same kind of animation using rigs which we normally use in Maya. So what we have done previously is we created a mesh, a spherical mesh in Maya, and we try to animate the same kind of in-place ball bounce. But when you're using a mesh for animation directly, what happens here is your Maya sometimes crashes and it gives you fatal errors. So if you're trying to copy and your animation and send it to your friends or to your production supervisors, what happens here is there are chances your Maya files might crash. So in order to avoid this, we as animators normally use rigged characters only. So we'll be seeing how to use rigged characters or objects for animating in Maya with regard to ball bounce now. So what I'll do is I'll open my Maya file. So I'll tell you the various procedures that needs to be done for animating a scene using Maya rig file. Okay. So my Maya is ready. Okay, yeah, it's my scene. So first, what I will do is I'll go to my see to it. Okay, it's taking so much amount of time loading. Okay, I'll just go to my reference editor. Okay, so the reference editor helps you to load Maya rig files without being directly loaded into your Maya. It's not, it's, there's a difference between file opening and file referencing, which I'll be telling it to you in some time. So first what you do is, I'll again show it to you. File, you have the option called as a reference editor. So go there. So first click create a reference. So I have copied a file called as Ultimate Ball, which is a Maya file which is available free online. So I've used it. So I'll also share it with you. Just click reference. So what happens here is the ultimate ball is referenced here. So whenever I want to switch it on and switch it off, I can always do it. Just because the file is switched off, that doesn't mean the file is not there inside your Maya file. So I switch it on, it will be enabled. So I can have n number of copies of the same ball, and I can also have different animation for the same ball. For example, what I will do is again I will click reference and re-reference the same ball file. So the file is the same one, but what happens here is I'm getting two instances or two copies. So what happens here is if I move one copy here and one copy here, there are Maya treats the rig is only one, but the file will be two here. So these Maya will consider this one to be a separate ball and this one to be a separate ball. For example, if I just want to animate only this ball, if I want to switch this one off, I can just click on this, but still I can have this and animate this file. So after animating this file, I can close this off and start animating this file separately. So this file will be considered totally separate, this file will be considered totally separate. Okay, so these kind of scenarios will happen when we are having a basket full of balls being what to say thrown from some top angle, so that you will be able to animate the interactions within each other. So that's the reason we use reference editors. So normally we don't open files when we are animating, we always reference it. Okay, so see to it you understand this idea all whenever you are animating. So always reference your files, which will minimize your fatal errors for any kind of animation. So what I'll do is I'll just click on this. I can also remove it whenever you want. Okay, So removed it. I'm going here. So now what you need to understand here is you have a lot of options that is present here. Okay, I'm bringing it to the center. So I will show you a close-up of what's happening here. Okay, so this is my ultimate ball. So the triangle, whatever we are having, is your global controller. So when I'm doing a selection like this here, so you have the ultimate ball, the master root controller, or we call it as your global. So you can translate, rotate, but you cannot scale your global. Okay, so you have a global scale option that's given here, which helps you to totally increase the size of your ball. For example, if you want the ball to be smaller, you can input a value as like 0.5, or you can also have the value as 2, so it becomes bigger. So you can change the size of your ball whatever you want. So translate and rotate, you know it. So it will help you to move your file, move your global front and back. So the global controller is mainly used for placing an object in the scene for animating. So once, if you are sure about the placement of your subject, then you don't touch your global at any given point of time. Okay, so we'll see the other controllers or other options that is there. So you also have an option in the global called as the ball type. So this is your basic ball. Next one is your checker. Next one is your football. So you can change the property of your ball. So, and the animation will also vary from each and every ball. For example, a football will have a large amount of squash and stretch when compared to that of a basketball. Okay, hope you people know it and understand it. So the tennis ball will not be like so big in size, so we need to decrease the global scale size. For example, it can be 0.3. It needs to be smaller. Okay, so based upon the property of the ball, we can animate it, and we also need to have the scale of the ball also in the proper size. Golf ball, again, it cannot be like so big, 0.05. It needs to be like so small. Okay, so those are the parameters which you need to understand and animate accordingly. So you have your bowling ball, the snow bowling, if you have done it. So your beach volleyball, again, this one is totally filled with air, and it will totally float in air. So the animation will vary for each and every ball on its own, and it totally depends upon the kind of property you decide for each and every ball. So I'm having a football here, so I'm taking this as my reference. I'm gonna animate this and show it to you how it's gonna work. So next one, what you need to understand here is you also have 3 more controllers apart from your global, which is your master controller, which helps you to move the ball in all directions, whether up or down or rotate. Okay, so this one, just press W. Okay, your master controller, it will help you to take the ball up and down. Okay, next one, you can rotate your ball. Okay, rotate in all possible directions. So when you're animating, see to it you don't use 2 axes at the same time when you're placing your objects like this. So always try to work on 1 axis at a time and try to place your objects in the proper place or position. Okay, so this is the one, and if you can see, the rigger has disabled the translate or the scaling factor for this ball. So the master controller here is not having scale, so you cannot scale the ball. So scaling, that's the reason it's been disabled here, and it's being enabled only in the global. Okay, so this controller on the top, what it does is it can only translate. Okay, so what it can do, just press W, it stretches the ball and it tries to squashes the ball. Okay, so when we use, I'll tell you where we use this amount of stretch. When the ball has more amount of energy that's pushing the ball upward, we tend to pull it upward. Okay, so energy acting in the upward direction, we pull this up. Okay, so else we keep it in a normal position. So when the ball is bouncing away from the ground, we pull this up to stretch it. When the ball is coming towards the ground, we pull this. Okay, so normally what people do during animation is we try to stretch this one on top, but we think we have stretched this one down. Okay, then we try to adjust the position in the inverse way, so which is not the right way of doing animation. Always see to it that if you move the controller under which direction the energy or the force is acting upon actually. Okay, so for if you want to perceive this ball to be like a character, you can also like rotate like this, going forward and backward, thinking, doing something like this, like dancing, and coming back to a normal position, standing like this. Okay, so in order to give this kind of very intricate kind of details, we have got these kind of controllers. So now I will also tell you how to create shells for working effectively with the character arrays. Okay, so what you need to do here is you need to go to the left hand side top corner. You have the shelf editor, so just click on this, click on new shelf. So you can enter any name, but see to it you don't give any kind of space in between. So what I will do is ball underscore ANM. Okay, so no space should be there, else it will not work. So I have got a new shelf for myself. Okay, so then what you need to do on the right hand side bottom corner, you need to go to the script editor. Okay, so click on script editor, it will open the command prompt. So whatever the kind of work you are doing in Maya, from the time you have opened the software, all the information regarding whatever you have done, even if it's like a small selection of my controller, will be like updated here. Okay, so these are all the kind of work I have done after starting my Maya file. So this one helps you to keep in track of what are the kind of works you have done. It's like a totally scripting kind of thing. So what I will do is edit. I'm going to clear all so that it's totally clean. So first what I need to do is I'll select the controllers for animating. So I'll go from the top to the bottom. So first press this controller, press your shift button. All the shortcuts, whatever I'm doing, like it will be mirrored on the top and side right corner. So just press shift and your left mouse button. Okay, without leaving it. So again, one more click. So you'll be able to select all the three kind of controllers here. So once, if you are very clear that all the three is selected, just left click the mouse button without leaving it. Try to select all the three here. Okay, now center click the mouse button. Okay, the scroll button without leaving anything, without leaving it, you need to just drag and drop it onto the timeline. Okay, the center mouse button you need to click without leaving it, drag and drop it here. Okay, so it'll ask whether it's a Mel Python or a cancel. Just click on Mel script. Okay, yeah, so I think we have created the Mel script for the ball controller. Okay, so I'm keeping the number of frames as 18 as we started. So frame number is 18. Okay, I'm zooming out. So I'm gonna change it to my orthographic view. Okay, my ball is here. Okay, so right now I'm having the ball at the bottom of my screen, so I want the ball to move up. So normally what people would do is select all controllers, they'll just press W and they'll move it. Can you see the distortion that's happening in the ball? See to it you never select all the controllers and move your character rigs. It distorts your character rig. So the best way is choose your master controller, try to take it to the desired position or your location, leave it. So once you are done, if you are very comfortable with the position, whatever you have kept, just select all controller, just press S. A keyframe has been set. So what happens? I'm planning to keep my extremes now, frame number 1 and frame number 18. Okay, 2 keyframes are kept. I don't have a breakdown that's coming in between, so I'm gonna just go in between. So I'm gonna click, okay, I'm gonna make the ball go down here, this position. Okay, so I'm gonna select the controller, press S. So ball is here, it's coming down, again it's going up. Okay, yeah, we have achieved it. So this frame number 1 and it's coming down, it's hitting, again it's going back. Okay, so half of 9 is like almost 4 or 5. What I'm going to do is like select all controller, keep a S key. Same way going to frame number 13, which is like half of this. I'm going to click another S key, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah. So again, I'll just open my graph editor and show you what's happening there in my graph. You'll be able to see it. So animation editor, your graph. Okay, so previously we had just your translate and rotate and scale for the mesh, but currently when you select this controller, can you see each and every controller has its own unique parameters that can be animated. Okay, so right now we are more bothered about the translate Y. Okay, so this is my translate Y of the main controller, which is this. I'm not bothered about the stretch and squash right now, so I'm more bothered about my translate. Okay, so this is the same thing which we got while we are animating your base mesh. Okay, so next one, what I need to do here is, so when my ball is coming here, my ball needs to stretch. Right now I have not applied stretch here. So what I will do, I'll go to frame number 9. Okay, I'll select all controller, right click, copy. So what I'm trying to do is I'm gonna copy this keyframes and paste it at frame number 8. See how it works? Yeah. So 8 and 9 is same. So you can also see in the graph editor that Maya has also copy and pasted the same thing there also. Translate Y, just see it, selecting all controller, going to frame number 9. Frame number 9 is selected here. So what I'll do is I'll just copy it here. So it's copied. Go to frame number 8. So I'm going here. I'm pasting it here. Can you see? Yeah, the same kind of information is also pasted here. No changes, everything remains same. So now what I'm going to do here is I want the ball to stretch. Okay, so I'm selecting this master controller. So we need to identify whether under which direction the force is acting on the ball, whether it's acting in the upward direction or in the downward direction. So when the ball is coming with gravitational force, the pull will be from the down and not from the top. So see to it, you stretch only this one. Okay, so you stretch this one, try to keep the ball just touch the floor here. Okay, yeah, it's touching the floor. Next boom, it hits, but you don't feel that energy that is there. So what happens when it's hitting the floor, the amount of energy is still coming from the back. So what we'll do, we'll give a push from the top. Okay, so you'll be able to feel it. Getting it? Okay, so next one, what I'll do, same way, I'll again copy this position and paste it here at frame number 10. Okay, so I don't want the ball to be at this position. First I'm placing the ball at the required place, and then I'm trying to animate it. So now the ball is coming, it's hitting the ground, then it's starting to go back. Okay, so when going back, the amount of force will not act here at the downward controller, it will try to act on top. Okay, so here I'll be pushing the topmost controller up, so then it goes up and it becomes normal and it stops. Okay, can you get that feel? If it's too much, try to reduce it. Okay, I think that's fine. Okay. Okay, goes well. So next one is so see to it all controls are keyed in all frames. So how to check that whether all controllers are keyed in all frames? You can go to your Windows animation editor, dope sheet. Okay, just press F. Okay, so it shows you the frame numbers here at the bottom, and also the keyframes whether all the keyframes are keyed in all frames. So see to it all the controllers, for example all the 3 controllers are keyed in all keyframes. If it's not there, the animation is going to continue from one position to another position, and you will not be able to control it whenever you want to. Okay, so it's mandatory that if you are having a keyframe, see to it everything is keyed and your animation is under your control. Okay, in order to like cross check your animation whether you are going the right way or not. Okay, as of now we are going the right way, so I'll close this. Next, what I need to do is I need to have the ease in and the ease outs here. So what I'll do, I'll select all controller, keep a keyframe here. So I'll move it a little bit forward, so a little bit forward. This can move still more. Okay, so it will be fine. Okay, this one is having more number of time, so I'll try to decrease the duration. Okay, 17 is fine for me. Okay, so my animation gets over at 17, so I'm more bothered about my translate Y. I'm selecting my graph. Okay, I'm trying to smoothen it out. Okay, so tangents, this one will be my linear. So after bouncing back, the ball will bounce with more energy, and while coming down, this will come with more amount of speed. So I can also decrease the number of frames here. So 8, 9, 10 can be reduced. It's totally your idea. I'm working on a 2D kind of 16 frames per second kind of animation. So this is a kind of 2-dimensional effect what we might be getting if you are totally animating in 2D. Okay, so that's the idea about it, why I'm keeping it 16. If it's a real-time 24 FPS, like again we'll be doing in a different way. Okay, just play this. fine. So take a play blast. Okay. So this is how you'll be animating a ball with a rig. Okay, give it a try, students. See whether you are able to control the ball first of all with all the controllers, and whether you are able to get believable animation here. So this is not gonna be an evaluation. This first of all to you to get yourself familiarized with the interface of Maya with regard to animation, and also introduce you to the basics of using a rig for animation. So first frame it start stopping here, so it's slowly starting down. Okay, can you see it's slowly starting down? So the speed is slow, so it's starting to get momentum, so it's stretching, it's coming down with more amount of energy. It hits the ground, pop, again goes back. You can bring it here. Okay, comes, hits, pops, goes back, loses the speed, slows down, and totally goes to standstill. Okay, so this is the idea, guys. So try it out. Any doubts, I'll be there to clarify your doubts. Okay, so happy animating.